Buckeye Nation, what's poppin'? Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel with an Ohio State Buckeyes spring transfer portal update video. As of course, the spring transfer portal opened a while back. And as you'd expect, business is booming. And as far as Ohio State goes, up until a few days ago, it was all quiet in Columbus. Nothing but tumbleweeds and crickets. And then, all of a sudden, rumors started coming out. Ohio State might be getting some visitors soon. And then, boom, the first one popped up. Bo Atkinson, former North Carolina Tar Heel edge rusher, will be in Columbus for a visit on Monday. Now, word on the street is he was in Georgia for a visit on Friday. I'm sure that went well. So now, knowing that, I need Larry Johnson to go out there and tell this guy that he could be a crucial part to an Ohio State repeat national championship. Because you look at our edge rusher room right now, overall, it's a solid room. Yeah, it's a very solid room. It ain't ass, that's for sure. But man, you had a guy like Bo Atkinson, that would make the room that much better and deeper. Which with the extended season, the longer playoff, right? More games, depth is important. The backups are as important as the starters. Because you don't want there to be a drop-off, right? You don't want your starters to be out there wreaking havoc, and then they got to come off the field to rest up a little bit because, you know, they can't play an entire game. Hell no. No, they got to rest up every once in a while, right? Got to run them into the ground by week 5. You don't want your backups going out there and sucking butt cheeks, right? Getting owned all over the field. You go from wreaking havoc with the starters to your backups getting pushed around left and right, giving up big plays. Now, you want good depth. Not to mention, with how physical the game is, injuries happen. And you don't want to be left with your pants down out here playing a whole bunch of freshmen who haven't played in a big game before, right? You want to add some good veteran presence to every room. Now, going into the spring, I think everybody in Columbus knew that they could potentially added at least a couple D linemen. I didn't think edge rusher was a need, but I can't complain. I'll take an edge rusher. I mean, why not? It's another guy who can get to the quarterback. I'll take that. Now, this isn't the only supposed visitor coming up, as from the Scarlet and Gray podcast on Twitter, and I quote, Georgia Southern defensive tackle Troy Pikes will be visiting Ohio State next week, according to Mick Walker. All right, love to see that. And then we also got this from Hayes Fawcett. As recently, former Syracuse defensive lineman Mahad Watson entered the transfer portal. He's a pretty big name. And as you see, Ohio State is heavily involved with him. Now, of course, they're competing with Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. All right, I like our chances there. But of course, as you know, those are 3 other teams with very, very deep NIL pockets. So we're going to have our work cut out for us if we want to try to bring in Mr. Watson. But I think there's a good chance we can. Now, we also got this as well. And it's funny. I was looking at the forums, and the Ohio State writers actually thought this was a fake. They thought, who is this guy? I even thought that. And it's Orion Irving. And for more information on that, we go to Pete Nakos, who tweeted this out. And I quote, Sam Houston State offensive tackle Orion Irving picked up an Ohio State offer on Friday. The 2023 Conference USA All-Freshman Team selection is also picking up serious SEC and ACC interest with a visit schedule in the works. Okay, see you, Coach Bowen. All right, good work then. Okay. Now we had all of that going down, right? And then we got this out of nowhere from On3 Sports, and I quote, "New Oklahoma true freshman D lineman David Stone has entered the NCAA transfer portal at Pete Nakos reports." Now, why am I talking about this as an Ohio State fan? Do I think Ohio State's going to be in on him? I wouldn't be surprised. But here's the thing, though. With him transferring in the spring, again, Pete gave us some big-time information here. And I quote, "Due to intra-conference rules, David Stone won't be able to transfer inside the SEC and play in 2025. So that means if he wants to stay in the SEC, he can't play this year. Which means I expect him to go elsewhere, outside the SEC. And that means Ohio State might actually have a chance. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Larry will at least reach out and see what he can do. But we'll have to see that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got as the spring portal's starting to heat up in Columbus. And we'll see what moves we make, who we bring in, and who leaves. Now, as far as who we've lost so far, nobody big. We've lost a punter, a long snapper, and a backup receiver that really didn't play much. So, nothing too crazy right now. We'll see if any more names enter the portal. I'm sure there will be, but we'll see. But with that being said, as always, I'm Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. Let's go, Bucks. OH, I'm out. Bye-bye.